I am here to tell you about my favourite mods that have released over the past couple weeks, including game-changing mechanics, new locations, armours, and other exciting content to discover. If you do go on to enjoy the video, please don't forget to subscribe, as it greatly helps out with growing the channel. But with that being said, let's take a look at the first mod with Soul Resurrection. This mod adds an entirely new alternate death system into Skyrim, one where you'll no longer need to worry about quick saving every minute or so. Upon dying, you won't be sent into a loading screen, but instead, after a few moments, you'll notice a unique effect coming off your character. Seconds later, you'll be up as if nothing ever happened, and ready to take revenge on whatever it was that caused your downfall. You might already be coming up with creative ways that you could potentially abuse this power, such as jumping from a great height, only to not have any real consequences in doing so. However, this is not the case, as the mod actually comes with some interesting debuffs that will be applied to your character upon being resurrected. What's even cooler though, is that the effect is based off how you died. So if I decided to throw myself off of Drez'kth'ar, I'd end up with likely getting the effect Crippled Legs, which reduces my movement speed and stamina for a few minutes. I tried to see how far the mod went with this feature, so I drowned myself. But this resulted in a fractured spine, so they haven't thought of everything, but it's still more than enough to make me impressed with the mod. It also adds in a pretty immersive feature, where if you die to a guard, instead of simply dying, you'll instead find yourself in jail, with the added bonus of potentially losing your gold, which can later be stolen back, adding in the need to be a lot more cautious in those encounters. If that doesn't sound like something for you, then don't worry, as this, as well as a handful of other options, can be tweaked in the MCM menu, so you can fine-tune the mod to however you'd like. Overall, I do think this one is worth giving a try, as it makes Skyrim's gameplay feel a lot more seamless, and brings about a unique layer of difficulty I haven't seen from any other mod. The second mod is Simple Bandit Camps. This adds in a handful of new locations to spice up some of the more underappreciated areas of Skyrim, most notably the Reach, with 3 new additions to explore. As well as this, there are 3 other dungeons, 2 in the Pale and 1 in Winterhold, all of which are vanilla friendly and don't feel out of place at all. I will say this mod is currently a work in progress, so we can definitely expect to see some more added in the future. Additionally, all of the locations added are available for Radiant quests and bounties, so you might end up getting yourself a quest to visit one of them in your playthrough. They were designed for the early game, so don't expect any fancy multi-layered dungeons. They're mostly just simple areas to clear and move on, but that doesn't mean it lacks quality. In fact, I quite enjoyed the simplicity of some of them, and I think you will too. These are some very well made locations, and I highly recommend giving it a little download. Following on, we have a mod called Windcaller. This adds in a brand new set of mage robes as well as an accompanying staff. This can be found within the boss chest of Ustengrav. Inside, you'll find the complete outfit along with the unique staff and any other regular loot. So let's take a closer look. The overall design honestly looks incredible. Perfect for an upcoming wizard or a wanderer of Skyrim, with the tattered cloak on the back adding so much in my opinion. What's more, once you get it all installed with the listed requirements, the clothes come with a set of physics that I absolutely love. Whilst the main focus is on the greybeard design, it does come with a selection of other variants that look equally as impressive, and are all craftable. Moving on to the Windcaller staff, this comes with a unique enchantment that is rather basic with its description, simply saying "Call the winds." Upon use, it sends out this wind charge that launches anyone that comes into contact with it, allowing for some pretty fun scenarios to play out. The range on it is insane too, so it's certainly not to be slept on. However, whilst it is rather powerful, the only downside is that the charge is quite small, so be sure to use it wisely. Next up, we have another mod that adds in its own mechanic into the world of Skyrim. Spell Learn and Upgrade, or SLU for short, allows you to learn new spells and upgrade them in an immersive way. When using a spell during combat, you'll gain both spell XP and job XP. Job XP is used to expand your magical arsenal. The higher the skill rating, the more job XP it'll require before you can learn it. Spell XP is what you use to upgrade already equipped spells. Each time you do so, it might end up dealing more damage or have a higher duration than before. In order to actually access the menu, all you need to do is open up the newly given spell manual. For those that like to gamble, it does have a system in place where you only have a set chance for the upgrade to go through, costing you gold each time it fails. I found this to be relatively cheap, even though we all know money isn't really much of an issue in Skyrim. One added bonus is that it's compatible with all spell mods without the need for any patch to get it working. If you have a modded spell equipped and attempt to learn a new one, it will count all spells included with the mod as part of the same job, and should be the only ones that show up as an option. I quite enjoyed my time spent with this mod, as it allowed me to use spells that aren't perhaps the strongest in comparison to a lot of others, such as Vampiric Drain, and level it up until it becomes viable. So definitely think about giving this one a try, especially if you typically use magic in Skyrim. The next mod is quite the exciting one, with the Drez'kth'ar Horror. This adds in multiple new world spaces to Skyrim, all of which are fully explorable. It's listed as being a Lovecraftian experience, a genre that I feel fits very nicely into the game. It features a main questline and multiple side quests, with an ongoing theme of eeriness and hopelessness, which I think definitely sets the tone for the story. It is made with subtle immersion in mind, as the mod author has said it is as lore friendly as they could make it, incorporating certain aspects of pre-existing lore from the rest of the Elder Scrolls. To get started, you just need to wait for everyone's favourite courier to hand you a note, which should happen from level 5 onwards. However, it is advised to be around level 15 to 20, so maybe hold off for a little while if you're planning on starting a new character. From there, you'll receive the quest and can begin your adventures. The only real downside is that it has no voice acting, which I know can be off-putting for some, where you'll need to do a fair bit of reading through various journals and notes to fully understand the lore. It took the mod author 4 years to complete, and missed some personal roadblocks during the development process, where they've even stated that they'll never make a mod of this scale again. So do go check this one out and show some love to the mod author, because it turned out amazing. Finally, we have Edmond's Cinematic Dragon Soul Absorption Remastered. This adds in new animations whilst you absorb a slain dragon's soul, complete with a range of different options for you to customize. There are 2 visual effects, either the soul or fire explosion, that both look insane. And lastly, you have the choice between some cinematics that your character can perform at the end of the process. We of course have the normal vanilla one, another where you kneel in place, and my personal favourite that lifts you off the ground and brings about a real sense of power. It's mods like these that are so small, yet add so much into the world of Skyrim, and continue to make the game feel new even after all these years. The mod is highly compatible and can also be installed on new or existing saves, so maybe think about giving this one a try. So there you have it, 6 brand new mods you might consider adding to your load order. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.